everyone, I'm Michael.
And I'm Patrick, and you're watching another episode of Star Wars News and Views. Today we're going to continue the discussion about the Entertainment Weekly coverage of Star Wars Episode 7, and we'll be talking about JJ Abrams' interview on Kylo Ren specifically. He was talking in his interview about how we're going to sort of see Kylo Ren's origin still in this episode, and sort of where the mask comes from, which apparently is going to be a nod to Darth Vader. He's fully aware of where the mask sort of comes from and his influence from Darth Vader.
Yeah, he says Kylo Ren himself is very aware of what's come before him, and that's pretty obvious if you see, there's that shot of him holding the mask, and I think it's him holding the mask, so he has the mask. Yeah. The actual prop.
Yeah. We also find out too that he has built his lightsaber, which is another rumor and sort of thing that we had talked about before.
Seems handmade, handcrafted.
Yeah. So that's a sort of another confirmed rumor that we've been hearing. And Lawrence Kasdan said that apparently a lot of his origins will come into play, and sort of where he comes from, sort of his emotional side. It'll be kind of like sort of how Anakin was supposed to be treated in the prequels.
Or at least the way a lot of people wanted him to be. Where, he's kind of a dark character that's kind of full of emotion and maybe conflict, but maybe you get the sense that there's maybe pathos to him somewhere in his past.
Yeah. Which is pretty exciting. We're going to sort of see a lot of emotion coming from this character, which apparently JJ Abrams said Adam Driver did a very good job of conveying in the movie.
Yeah, and just threw himself into the role. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting things is that they went on and talked about how Ren is not his original last name. He took on the name Ren when he joined the Knights of Ren. Yeah. And so now this opens up, okay, what are the Knights of Ren? It seems like it's kind of this order of knights, I guess, that are maybe not Sith per se, but follow the teachings of the Sith.
Yeah.
Because you have to wonder, when the Empire sort of, after the destruction of the Death Star, Darth Vader's dead and the Emperor's dead, what happens to that sort of legacy? So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and furthermore, there's also been a leaked concept art of the Knights of Ren from Indie Revolver, which we've come into possession of. We'll show you some right now. And as you can see, they're kind of very aesthetically similar to Kylo Ren. They have like dark clothing and like different types of masks and also lightsabers, which kind of goes along with the knight thing, some sort of swords to go with it. And it seems pretty interesting. I mean, we haven't really heard anything else about any other Ren characters from this organization, but if there's concept art for it, it means that we can possibly see some of them in this episode or even in future installments.
Yeah, because why are they doing concept art if they're not going to ever be shown? It could be from an earlier draft, and these are not the final designs necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all really, really, really interesting.
And they all seem to be taking some sort of influence from Darth Vader, which is cool. We're going to see the sort of, I don't know if they're going to be Sith, but it could possibly lead up into some sort of Sith installment with it.
Well, I think that also ties into, the Force Awakens is sort of the Force coming back, whether it's the light side or the dark side, growing in strength and that whole thematic aspect.
Yeah, we'll see this balance, I think, still coming if we see some Jedi, or what are Jedi now, and then also sort of what are Sith now.
What are Sith now. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting that the Empire becomes the First Order, the Rebel Alliance becomes the Resistance, so maybe the Sith become the Knights of Ren or something like that.
Yeah.
And one final thing that I have to say is also, so Adam Driver's character is still fairly young, and so they're discussing about how he's still kind of growing as a person, as a character. He's still in his sort of formative stage, whereas when you meet Darth Vader in Episode 4, he's fully formed as a character and what he's about. I mean, you sort of see the origin of that in the prequels.
Yeah.
But this is actually sort of like if you could follow Darth Vader in between Episode 3 and 4 and see how he develops into the person he becomes as a Sith character.
Yeah. Another thing to note too is I'm not really sure how many people in the universe know like what the Sith are at this point. So maybe what the Sith are is just going to be the sort of Knights of Ren thing. They're taking on the dark side, the Force on the dark side, and we're not really they don't even know like what a Sith is at this point, because
they're aware of the legacy, but because the line has been broken, they sort of have to reform it into their own sort of group.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of interesting discussion from this one issue of Entertainment Weekly. It's given a lot to think about, a lot to talk about,
and a lot to be excited about for the movie coming up soon.
Yeah, this whole this whole Knights of Ren thing, and Kylo Ren takes on the name. It's kind of like the Sith, but it's kind of new, and that's kind of seems like they want to take the old but bring something new to it. That's sort of been the approach that they've been taking for The Force Awakens in general.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you all have something to add, something to say about this. So be sure to leave us your comments. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next episode.
Also, important thing to bring up, we're going to be going to Fan Expo, so be sure to check that out. We'll be going, beginning of September.
Yeah.
Check out our coverage. It'll be really exciting for us to go and, go to another con. This one's even bigger in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the Comic-Con of Canada at this point, right?
Pretty much. I think
Yeah.
there's one in Vancouver too, isn't there?
Yeah, but I think Fan Expo is actually a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, they have Vancouver Comic Con. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting. It's only in a couple weeks, so we'll see you then.